This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Prabuddha.
Good afternoon.
Please take seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, Prabuddha, being a engineering graduate, why do you want to join CAPF?
Sir, because CAPF has a very dynamic work profile and the kind of diversity I'm seeking in a service that CAPF provides, and because of the sole reason of being part of a service which will give me diversity not only in roles and responsibility but also in geographical deployment, sir. So that is the primary reason.
Okay, then tell me how your knowledge of electronics and communication engineering can be useful as an officer in CISF. Let us say you are deployed at nuclear power station, right? Then how your knowledge of your engineering can be useful over there.
So we can see there is a rising threat in terms of drone attacks, and there is more activities going on in cyberspace. So the knowledge of electronics will help me to train my personnel as well, impart them the knowledge I have acquired during my engineering. Also, it will help me analyze the situation rationally because of the analytical abilities which engineers acquire. So.
Okay, so let us say at the same installation, one of your inspector has reported to you that we have seen 4 drone in different directions at that installation. Then how would you deal with that?
So firstly, I will inform my seniors about the situation, and I'll ask them that I'll ask for the command from them. If they say that yes, prompt action is needed to be taken, so I would take the prompt action. I will also inform my subordinates, the personnel, to track down the drone and take necessary measures.
Okay. Let us say due to certain reason, your commandant is not available to give you directions. Then what would you do?
So we would definitely have anti-drone radar system. So we will try to trace the radar, do an aerial mapping where the drone is actually surveying, and then we will certainly try to track it down and intercept it, sir.
How much time it would take to, get to know about its path, location, from where it came? Now, whatever you want to do with that radar technology, how much time it will take?
So given the availability of the technology, right, then we can say it will not take more than 5 or 10 minutes to trace the drone where it is located and at what area we need to focus and we need to track it.
Okay, suppose you have located that it came, from, let us say, Sri Lanka, right? Then?
So if it came from Sri Lanka, then we'll try to understand that why it is serving the particular region, the particular installation, and then we'll certainly try to intercept it and take it down, sir, certainly, because any type of drone mapping will be a threat to.
Okay. But don't you think taking down should be a first step? Because by the time you will, trace its location from where it came, it will make a video, take pictures, and it will move out of that location.
Yes, sir, but as drone presence is increasing, sir, so it can be a drone of our own or maybe a drone of some friendly neighborhood or something. So that we need to ensure that it is an enemy drones.
Even, if Sri Lanka is also a friendly neighbor, right? Even then, do you think we can allow drone from a friendly country to come and hover over a ISRO location?
No, sir. No, we cannot allow that. In fact, the drone regulations in India do not permit the flying of drone in that region, sir.
What is the mandate of CISF?
So the mandate of CISF is to protect the critical installations, the critically important economic installations, PSUs, airports, atomic energy installations, nuclear installations, space installations. They are deployed at Delhi Metro as well. So the primary mandate is to protect the important assets of India, sir, the national assets.
Okay, thank you, Prabuddha.
Thank you, sir.
Prabuddha, you've received a certificate of participation in essay competition on environmental law 2017. So can you tell me the role of PIL in environmental law?
Ma'am, PIL has helped a lot in shaping our environmental laws, and because Supreme Court through several PILs recognized that right to a good environment and under Article 21 of right to life and personal liberty. So right to air, right to clean air, these are part of Article 21, and because of these several PILs, the Supreme Court has been able to take measures in terms of environmental.
There is a very famous environmental activist who's been accorded with filing several PILs with respect to environment. Can you name him?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am.
MC Mehta.
Yes, ma'am.
MC Mehta.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Thank
MC
you.
Mehta, sorry?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So now, however, there are several cases in which, again, PILs were filed for environment, but the Supreme Court held that PIL is not private interest litigation. So can you mention a case which was for misuse of PILs for environment?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm currently failing to recall.
Okay. Now, can you tell me which is the most air pollution is a problem?
Yes.
Air pollution. Can you identify few sources of air pollution?
Ma'am, the industries, the coal power, thermal power plants, they are the...
Which is the biggest source of air pollution in India?
Ma'am, if I have to make a guess, then I would say it is the thermal power plants, ma'am.
Okay. So there's a report by IIT Kanpur which says it's the road pollution. It's the dust.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, coming to background scores, it's an interesting hobby learning about the background scores of popular films. What is the difference between background scores and background music?
Ma'am, background score is compounding the visual on the screen, ma'am. It actually evokes a certain emotion which is required to get us immersed into the film. Background music help us in let's say narrating a particular film in larger sense, ma'am. Background score is very nuanced in nature, I would say.
Can you give me, I'm still unable to understand the difference between the two.
Ma'am, for instance, background music might be larger in nature. For instance, if there is a longer sequence, then there will be a larger background music. But background score is into the details. It is very nuanced. For particular, in a larger framework also, there are small scenes. So for that small scene also, you'll have a background score.
So it's trying to say something without the use of dialogue.
Exactly.
That is a background score, and music is something which is just present in the background.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Now, can you tell me what do we understand by demographic dividend?
Ma'am, demographic dividend is a country who has young population in the working age. So that is a sort of asset, and that the benefit we can reap from the young demography, that is dividend, ma'am.
And demographic burden?
Ma'am, if we cannot channelize our demographic dividend, then becomes demographic burden.
Okay. So you've done your electronics and communication engineering. Can you tell me if you've heard of GPS?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me something about GPS?
Ma'am, GPS is actually global positioning system. So that helps us to locate different locations through satellites, ma'am. So that is GPS. India is actually working on its own, and we have our NAVIC satellites.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Prabuddha.
Hello, sir.
Prabuddha, you are from Mirzapur, and it has been quite infamous in recent years regarding the, let's say, organized crime.
Yes.
So what is your take on it? Is it a true story? What is being reflected in different web series?
Sir, it's just partially correct, because in Mirzapur is famous for its carpet, so the character Kalin Bhaiya actually depicts the city what it's famous for. But it's actually untrue. It's not a true depiction of the violence, because Mirzapur is a very peaceful city. There is no gangster violence, and there is no such menace of oppie farming and the spread of oppies there.
Okay, and what is your take on bulldozer justice?
So bulldozer should not be used as an extrajudicial weapon by the government, because in Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation 1985 judgment, Supreme Court said that the right to housing is a fundamental right under Article 21. But in the UP Urban Planning and Development Act of 1973, the district municipal authorities are actually responsible for doing evacuation and the demolishing structures which are actually encroaching on the government lands.
Okay. So Uttar Pradesh has been suffering from regional divide. It can be rural-urban divide, or the difference between the eastern and the western areas, the difference of levels of development, etc. So how this skewed development can be corrected?
So the government of UP came with the scheme One District One Product, which is for the balanced regional growth of the entire Uttar Pradesh. One district will be identified for the particular product.
What is the product for Mirzapur?
So carpets, sir.
Carpets. Okay.
Handmade carpets.
Go ahead. That is one solution.
So that is one, sir. So second is now the government is focusing on bringing green revolution to eastern India. So even the eastern part of UP and Bihar and other parts of the eastern part of India who were...
This they have been doing for decades now.
So the green revolution which happened in 60s and 70s primarily emphasized on the western part of UP and Punjab and Haryana.
No, the scheme bringing green revolution to the eastern part of India, that has been running for more than a decade now.
So it was rejuvenated in 2017 and with greater emphasis of modernizing the agricultural system in the eastern part of India.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Third.
And thirdly, sir, the expressways, now the UP government is focusing infrastructure development, sir. And other, sir, now we are shifting from NCR based development to some other parts where we can have semiconductor manufacturing. So Lucknow Kanpur corridor is being built so that semiconductor manufacturing can be done at a very larger scales.
Okay, what was very special about this particular UP budget?
So in this budget, sir, there was a lot of emphasis on future technologies and bringing investment to the state of Uttar Pradesh. So we are focusing on ease of doing business, and last year we attracted second largest investment across India.
What else? Any targets we have set?
So I'm not sure if it was in this budget, but UP is focusing on becoming $1 trillion economy by yes.
By which year?
So by 2027.
Okay, and they are going to do it through?
Sorry, sir, I can't.
Which sector are they focusing on?
So they are primarily focusing on the future upcoming technologies of semiconductor manufacturing and so not quantum communication, sir, but they're focusing on IT, the spread of IT sector.
They are also focusing on, big focus for this budget was on which sector?
I'm sorry,
tourism
sir.
sector.
Tourism, sir, yes.
For job creation.
Yes, sir, job.
So what is the tourism policy of Uttar Pradesh?
So we are focusing both on religion-based tourism, the heritage-based tourism, and we are focusing on eco-tourism as well, linked with the Ganga. So Earth Ganga was actually initiated in the National Mission on Clean Ganga. So Earth Ganga is actually tourism related with Ganga.
Okay, so you have participated in essay competition on environmental laws already, and you mentioned eco-tourism. What is the difference between sustainable tourism and eco-tourism?
Sir, sustainable tourism means that we do not harm the environment and the ecosystem of the particular region where the tourism is actually occurring. Ecotourism, sir, when we actually focus on tourism based on the ecosystem itself. For instance, if I can take an example, then Kemul Namjao National Park in Manipur, it is famous for its floating water parks, sir, which based off FUMDs, which is biodegradable in nature, sir. So that can be called as ecotourism, sir.
Is there an overlap between the two?
So, sorry, sir?
Is there an overlap between the two, ecotourism and sustainable tourism?
So there can be an overlap, sir. So ecotourism can also be said that it is a sustainable tourism.
Okay. About the environmental laws, can you analyze Forest Rights Act for me, how it has been performing?
So Forest Rights Act has performed well in terms of ensuring the habitat and community rights of our tribes living.
Which year was it passed?
Sir, in 2006.
Okay, go ahead.
So, sir, this act actually ensures that the communities who are living for 3 generations in the national parks and the conservation areas, sir, they should not be alienated from their land, sir, and they should be continuing with the
not the features, but the performance.
Sir?
Not the features of the act, but the performance.
So the act has definitely ensured in the sustainable livelihood of the tribes living in the conservation areas. However, there have been some troubles in different parts of India which have been addressed by several high courts and Supreme Courts.
What are the troubles?
So development-induced displacements, development-induced
Conflict
displacement
between the forest officials and tribals, yes.
Exactly, sir. So those
And there
challenges.
is a conflict between Forest Right Act and Wildlife Protection Act also.
Yes, sir. There can be because the core zone of a Wildlife Protection Act cannot be actually hindered by the movement of people, and because of that, the forest tribals suffer sometimes, sir.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Prabhu, I think you are one of the best candidates we've got.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So you are doing really good. Only thing I would suggest is just to slow down a bit
Okay, sir.
in giving a gap after the question and in delivery of your answers. I think it will be a better way of communicating with the board.
Let's.
Just slow down, otherwise it's going bad. It's going good. And about that answer for bulldozer justice, that was one of the best answer I've got for that question.
Okay, sir.
It's going well. Do not undo anything.
Okay, sir.
All the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.